we are going to start lying down, and the pose is called starfish pose. So it's going to be like a weight for a mat, and you're just going to imagine like a starfish. So your feet will be out the width of the mat, arms just out to the side. Yeah. All right. And you can just start here. So we're just going to start with our breathing, our breath work, and our mindfulness. So either eyes open or eyes closed, and starting to come into that yoga breath. So just noticing, consciously noticing your breath. Taking those long, deep inhales through your nose. Long, deep exhales out through your nose. And just kind of feel your breath moving through your body. So as you inhale, just feel your belly getting bigger, your ribs expanding, your chest rising. As you exhale, just notice everything happen in reverse. Your chest drop, your ribs knit together, your belly empty out. And take just a few more breaths like this. Using this time to really just kind of disconnect from the outside world and just start to turn your thoughts, your gaze, your feelings inward. Noticing and embracing the feeling of being outdoors, being on the water. The strong wind, we're in windy season right now, embracing that, the warmth, the sun setting, any sounds from wherever you're at, the waves, the marina, maybe the silence if you're at home. Embracing all of this as part of our experience, part of our practice today. Take a moment to just kind of remind yourself of something you're grateful for. Setting an intention for class or just dedicating this idea to your practice today. If your eyes are closed, slowly open up your eyes, and you're going to bring your right knee in towards your chest, and you're going to do a few circles with that right knee, about 3 circles in each direction, just hugging that knee with both hands in towards your chest, and then you can switch and move those circles in the other direction. We're going to make our way to a half happy baby pose. So grabbing the outside of that foot, bringing the foot up towards the sky, knees out wide, and kind of just gently pulling that knee out and down towards the mat. If you want, you can make little movements, kind of rocking side to side. But just starting to check in with yourself. Notice how your hips feeling, how your legs are feeling, checking in with your body. Really allowing yourself to just be present, just be in the moment for the next hour or so, using your breath as a tool to come back to if your mind just starts to wander too much. Take about 2 more deep breaths here. And then you can bring that knee back, hug that knee back into the chest one more time. And we're going to release that leg and switch sides. So right leg's going to be out nice and long. Bring the left knee in towards your chest and do a few circles, about 3 circles in each direction. And then we'll come into that half happy baby pose on the other side. Kind of noticing how this side feels compared to the other side. And then from here, we're going to bring that other leg up and just make our way into a full happy baby pose. So feet, knees out wide, maybe rocking side to side a few times, and kind of playing with your happy baby. So pressing the whole back, the tailbone down to the mat, and then lifting it up and seeing which one feels better for you, for your back. Still working towards pressing those knees down to get deeper into the stretch. And then from here, if you want, maybe straightening one leg, bending the other knee in. So kind of just stretching it out a little bit further, just doing whatever feels good. And then whenever you want, you can kind of switch sides. Maybe one more time on each side, or maybe you take both legs out straight, or maybe bring both feet together. 2 or 3 more breaths. And then you can bring both knees in towards your chest, so hugging both knees there. And then we'll stretch everything out long. So straightening your legs, reaching your arms up overhead. Taking a nice long stretch from your fingertips all the way down to your toes. Good. And then from here, take your time to kind of just push yourself up to a seat. And we're going to set up for, it's called dragon pose in yin yoga, so low lunge pose. So you can get your towel or your blanket and just kind of get it as that extra padding. We're going to be moving from here into a lizard pose, so if you bought your block, you can just have your block out. If not, that's okay. All right. So we're going to set up our blanket towards the middle or towards the back part of the mat. Our left knee will be on the blanket, right foot forward. So remember, you liked this pose last time. Actually, she said it was challenging. So. All right. So we'll just take a moment, take your time to kind of set up in the pose. And you want to make sure that your front knee is over top of your ankle, your back knee is back. And option to stay here. So we'll be staying here for the first 2 minutes or so, and then we'll be kind of adding on a variation. So taking a moment to just kind of notice where you're feeling the stretch in your body. Try to relax those muscles. So the muscles in the hips, inside the legs. Making your spine long, so try not to kind of curl your head and neck down, so keeping your gaze kind of maybe forward at the front of your mat, or even looking out at the water. Option is to stay here, so on your fingertips, or it's just an option if you want to lengthen your spine. So this option just might feel better for your back, but it might be a little bit challenging to balance too. So either way is just fine. We'll be here 2 or 3 more breaths. All right, from here we're going to bring our hands down. Walk the right foot over to the right. So both hands are inside, and we're going to start out with the little lizard pose stretch. So taking that foot out at a diagonal, coming onto the pinky edge side, and taking that right hand to the right knee. Just stretching out the hip a little bit more here. So you can add the little twist, so looking over your shoulder. If you want, dipping that other hip down, stretching it out a little. And then we'll come back through to the center, so placing the whole pad of that foot down. Both hands can stay on the inside, so this is your level 1. So if you're really feeling that good stretch in the hip, inside the leg, you might want to stay here. If you're feeling like, well, you could go a bit further, you might want to start out by taking one forearm down, kind of testing it, see how it feels, maybe staying there for a few breaths. If that feels okay, you might want to come further onto both forearms, or you might want to come back up onto your hands. Either way is fine. So you want to be able to feel a good stretch. You want to be able to challenge yourself, but you also want to be able to relax, and you want to be able to enjoy it. You want to be able to release. Coming back to your breath. Two more deep breaths. And then slowly make your way back up onto your hands. So just moving nice and slow to make your way out of the pose. Bringing that leg back. And we're just going to stretch it out a little bit once you get it back there. So you can straighten that leg behind you, stretch it out, reach it out long. And then maybe come into a downward facing dog to stretch out both the legs. Good, and then coming back onto your hands and knees, we'll take a brief child's pose before we switch sides. And then you can make your way back up and make your way to the other side. So left leg's going to come forward this time. And just kind of checking in, making sure the knee's over top of the ankle. And then Maybe seeing if that back knee can go a little bit further. Settling into the pose from here. Noticing how this side feels compared to the other side. So if you want, staying here, or option to kind of lengthen your spine coming up onto the knees. It's just kind of, it doesn't really matter which option you do, just whatever feels better for you. About 2 or 3 more deep breaths. And then from here, we're going to take both hands down, walk the left foot over to the left. Bring that foot out at a diagonal, coming onto the edge, the pinky edge side, taking the hand to that knee, little twist, looking over the shoulder, maybe dipping the right hip down, stretching it out. And then we'll come back through to the center, placing the whole pat of that foot down. Both hands start out inside, maybe just pausing here. And then seeing if you can go further. Just because you could go further on the other side doesn't mean you're going to be able to go just as far on this side. So just kind of seeing how it feels on this side. About 2 more deep breaths. Taking your time to make your way out of the pose, just kind of moving nice and slow. So in yin yoga, all the movements are slow. And we're just going to kind of stretch it out when you come out. So maybe just taking that leg behind you, maybe doing some hip circles. And then downward facing dog is a really good stretch as well. All right, so from here we'll come back onto our knees. We'll come to bringing our knees together, sitting back on our heels. And we're going to draw our shoulders down and back, just interlacing our hands behind our back. Staying here for a breath or two, just sitting up nice and tall. So just kind of, this is our counter pose. So just letting our back kind of be straight, drawing the shoulders down and back. Either staying here for a few more breaths, or if you want, you can bring the top of the head down, reach the arms up. And then you can make your way back up. All right. And we're going to come to a seat. So set up for our next pose. It's going to be, it's called half butterfly pose. So it's one leg's out long, the other foot's in. So we're going to do our half butterfly, then we'll do our butterfly, and then our other half. So yin yoga kind of has unusual names of poses. Usually they have to do with animals. It's just it's a little bit different than the normal yoga poses. So it doesn't matter which leg is out long. You're going to square your hips to that leg, allow that leg to relax. And then we're just going to start to walk our hands forward over that leg. Just slowly kind of making your way down and trying to find your edge in the pose for right now. So your edge in the pose is going to be not the farthest. You can pull yourself down, but it's going to be that spot where you're feeling a good stretch, but you're not forcing it, you're not yanking it, you're not pulling it. Because in yin yoga, if we tense the muscles and let the muscles take over, we're not getting into the deeper tissues beyond the muscles. So we have to be able to allow those muscles to relax as we hold the pose longer. But then also check in, because even after just 30 seconds of holding the stretch, you should be able to go just a tiny bit further. And you may be able to find a new edge. From here, you're just going to walk your hands back about halfway, and we're going to walk our hands to the center. So if you want, you can use your blanket or your towel kind of to place to rest your arms at, or if you're more flexible, maybe be able to rest your head on it. But just using that prop to just kind of help you find that place of relaxation in the stretch. So in yin yoga, once you get in each pose, there's a few things you want to do. The first one is notice where in your body you're feeling that stretch and try to relax those muscles. The second thing is to find your edge in the pose at that moment, and it changes throughout. And then you want to try to find stillness in the pose. So stillness in your body, but also try to find a type of stillness in your mind. 1 or 2 more breaths. And then you can start to walk your hands back, slowly making your way out of the pose, just kind of pausing at the top, straighten your back. And then you can shake out the legs a little bit. All right, so that was about 4 minutes. And then we'll take our feet out wide, drop both knees to one side, then to the other, just kind of releasing any tension in your back. And then we'll come to reverse tabletop as a counter stretch. So heels in towards you, hands, fingers facing you. Lift the hips up, maybe allow the head to drop back, your shoulder blades to come together a little bit in front. And then you can lower back down. All right, so from here we're going to come to a full butterfly pose. So feet together, sending the feet apart a little bit. So not bringing them in real close because we want to make sure we stretch the hip as well. So being a little bit more gentle, pushing them apart, drawing the shoulders back, sitting up nice and tall. And you can stay here with your chest lifted and just kind of hinging forward, staying there for a few breaths, seeing if you can go forward a little bit from your hips. And then kind of keeping the chest lifted might be kind of feel good for your back, but if your back feels okay, you might want to start to round the shoulders, round the head, maybe using your blanket or block. You can scrunch it up as like a place to relax your head. But using it maybe just to find some way to allow your body to find that that relaxation in the pose. So this stretch is also targeting, like I said, the hips, the inner legs. Allowing those muscles to relax. Maybe coming back to your breath. One or two more deep breaths. And then same thing, moving nice and slow, So just coming up to a straight back, pausing there. And then we'll just windshield wipe our knees side to side or shake the legs out. And our counter stretch will be mini Shavasana. Mini, right? So just lying flat on our back, allowing our back to just relax. Allow your body to relax in between the poses to kind of rejuvenate your tissues to come back into the next pose. And then you can take your time to make your way back up. And we'll set up for that half butterfly pose on the other side. So same thing, squaring your hips to that leg that's out long. When you're ready, coming down maybe just halfway to start with, checking in, and then finding your edge. From here, you can start to walk your hands back just about halfway, and then we'll walk our hands towards the center. If you want, using that blanket or block as a prop to kind of just help you settle in. Noticing how just kind of shifting towards the center changes the stretch a little bit more. And just coming back to your breath. about 2 more deep breaths. And then slowly walking your hands back, just pausing at the top. Shaking out the legs or windshield wipering the knees side to side. And then we'll come to that reverse tabletop. So counter stretch, lifting the hips up, nice and high. Good, and then you can lower back down. All right, so from here we're going to come into melted heart pose. All right, so melted heart pose is going to fix our heart. Well, it's just going to help it feel better, and it's going to help our upper body, so shoulders, arms, upper back. So we're going to start with our knees on the blanket, just coming onto your hands and knees, and then you can stretch the arms forward, bring your forehead down, keeping the hips up high on top of the knees as you're in this pose. Maybe even moving the forehead side to side a few times. I'll just start with stretching out your neck. Relaxing the muscles in the upper body. From here, you can slowly lift your head up, start to walk your hands back, and we're just going to add a thread the needle variation. So you can start with your right hand. You're going to bring it through underneath the left armpit, bringing the right shoulder down, right side of the head down, or you can even keep the forehead down. Your left hand is going to either slide forward on the mat, or you're going to take that left hand behind your lower back to open up the shoulder. One more deep breath here. And then you can press that left hand back down, make your way back up, just kind of pausing in the center, and then we'll switch sides. So bringing that other arm through. Shoulder comes down, either that cheek, side of the head comes down, or the forehead. Option to slide the hand forward on the mat or bring it behind your lower back. And then from here, you can take that right hand back down, press yourself back up to a tabletop, and we'll just come into a child's pose. So child's pose, it might feel good to bring your knees together and take your hands behind you to allow the shoulders to release. All right, from here we're going to make our way back up, and we're going to come onto our belly for Sphinx pose for our next stretch. All right, so this pose is for our back. So just allow your feet to relax behind you, elbows underneath your shoulders, drawing the shoulder blades apart. And then either just keeping your gaze forward at the front of your mat, or you can lift your head up looking forward. And then just feel that nice gentle stretch on your lower back. Allow your back to relax. And then either staying here, or if you want to go further, a little bit deeper into the back bend, take your hands wider, and then work towards straightening your elbows. Either staying here for, we'll be here about 30 seconds more, or you can always come back down to your forearms. From here, you can slowly make your way down. You're going to bring one side of your head down to the mat, hands behind you with your palms up. Staying here a few breaths. And then you can lift your head up and bring the other side of your head down. All right, so from here, you can either roll onto your back, or if you want to come up just for like a quick drink of water, you can do that. But we're going to be on our back for the rest of class. And we're going to start in a figure 4 stretch. So bring your right ankle above that knee, energetically pressing that knee out to the side, and then you can lift the leg up, either interlacing your hands behind the left thigh or on top of that left knee. So you want to keep your head relaxed on the mat behind you. Maybe if it feels good, roll your ankles out a few times in each direction. I'm feeling the stretch in the hips, a little bit in the glutes. From here, we're going to take that right knee and cross it further over top of the left knee, as if you're kind of sitting cross-legged but lying down. Reach for the foot that's closest to you on either side, or the ankle, whatever you can reach for. So like a lying down cow face pose, working towards stacking the knees, getting a little bit deeper into the hip stretch. And then you can release your feet, and we're going to come into a twist. So if the right knee's on top, you're going to take both legs over to the left side. So keeping those crossed knees in the twist, as long as that feels okay. You can relax your hand on top of the knees. Your other arm can come out long to the side, or you can just bend it at the elbow, bringing it up overhead. From here, we're just going to slowly make our way back through to the center. Untwisting our legs, taking a nice long stretch in the middle, so maybe reaching the arms up overhead, straightening out the legs. And then when you're ready, we'll come to the figure 4 stretch on the other side. Energetically pressing that left knee out to the side, feeling that stretch in your glutes, your left hip. From here, you can cross the left knee over the right knee, reaching for the ankles on either side of the feet. And then you can release your feet, and we're going to make our way into the twist on the other side. So dropping both knees over to the right side. Relaxing the hands on top of the knees or on top of the legs. Left arms either out long or bent overhead. And then you can make your way back through to the center. Maybe stretch it out long one more time. And then you're going to make your way into Shavasana. So finding a comfortable position. Allowing your body to just sink a little bit deeper into the mat. Scanning your body, starting with your toes, allowing your feet, your toes to just release Relax. Sink a little bit further into the mat. Slowly working your way up, allowing your calves and your legs to just release. Allowing your lower back to relax, your upper back. Relax your shoulders. Allow your face to soften. Space between your third eye to soften. Relaxing the arms and the fingers.